All right, so we've got a PSA submission here. This was a special from 1960 to 1989, a June special. We split this into two different submissions. So this is the first half. It's 28 cards. The second half is 29 cards, and it will be coming a little bit later. So we're going to get into these 28 cards now and see what we got. It has been about 2 weeks since I've looked at the grades, so I do not remember all of them. There's 4 of us have cards in this submission. 9 cards are mine, and then I have 3 other friends that have a few cards. So we're going to see how they go. They're going to range from 1960 all the way to, I believe, 1988. I believe we got almost all the way to 1989. See if I can get this out of here. Why did I not get it? I'm sorry. There we go. Apologize for the difficulty in opening this. And I don't know why that box is doing that, and I'm hitting the camera, so my apologies. Let's just do this here. Toss that on the ground. Toss this here. See if we can do better with this box here. Again, 28 cards in this one. To my knowledge, yes, all of them did grade. All right, let's continue on here. Again, 28 cards in this submission. Let's see if we can't... Hey, welcome back to the Vintage Baseball Corner. I'm Chris. It's been a long time since I posted a video, about 6 to 7 months since I've done anything vintage related, and a few months since I've opened some, heritage and newer product. But I wanted to say welcome back to those who have visited with me before. If you're new, I'm happy to have you, and I hope that you'll come back again sometime. But I wanted to, real quick, before we get to the cards, I wanted to kind of just fill you in on some of my frustrations, the good, the bad, with PSA. I know it's almost fashionable to bash PSA, and I generally am not that way. So what I kind of wanted to cover, first of all, is this sub. As I think I've already mentioned in the video, that we split this sub into 2 groups. I wanted to do that because the last sub I wasn't as happy with the grades, and we got a bunch of minimum size required cards that I just didn't feel like was consistent with prior submissions. So I figured let's hedge our bet, split it into 2, and it's one of those things where you just hope that you don't get hit too hard with too many cards at once. Okay, these were sent in on the June 1960 to 1989 special. It was a 65 business day special. It was sent in, it came before the National, so I understand the extended time frame because they get flooded with submissions in and around the National as well. So this one came in. We sent them both together in the same box. They arrived at PSA on July 9th. Excuse me, my notes there. And they were actually entered into the system very quickly on July 14th. So they entered the research and ID phase, which is what starts the clock. The first submission, which you are again about to see the cards for, was finished in 52 business days and 55 to my door, shipped, which was really quick. But the crazy thing about the other is that for some reason it got completely split. And I know they're separate orders, but it did not advance to the grading stage for a full 5.5 weeks or 27 business days after the first order. So how 2 similar size orders, same types of cards, sent in the same box, entered on the same day, somehow end up a month apart from each other is just weird to me. But, hey, it is what it is. We knew it was going to take a while, and that was okay. So our original target date was October 28th. The second half, which you will see a separate reveal on that hopefully soon, is now at the 86 business day mark and still going. It's in QA checks, so hopefully we will see them soon, but I've seen that drag out a week or 2 because they still have to finalize them, charge me for them, reveal the grades, make the offers, and then wait another day before they'll ship out. So at best case scenario, I'm figuring they're not going to ship until mid next week, but that's, is what it is. That's just some of the frustrations that you have to deal with. We know about time. We know it's going to take a while, but they went from being, 10 plus days early on one to now almost 3 weeks late on the second one that both arrived on the same day. The other and biggest frustration that I have is the lack of specials that would apply to collectors like myself, my friends, and I think most of you who do a lot of vintage card collecting, maybe add to a registry, keep a registry or two and maybe like to add to those, which means getting some commons from certain years graded and, that kind of thing. Well, at, full price at 2020, I think it's $24, $27 a card now, unless you do bulk. And, remember, it's not worth it to do that. So that really hamstrings my 1975 set, which I'm, 2/3 the way through graded. And now I'm not going to pay that kind of price to have the rest of them graded. So I'm waiting for specials. This June special was the first usable special all year in 2025 for the vintage type collector and the registry collector. Now, I'm not talking about high-end stuff. I'm talking about, people that would take advantage of the monthly specials. Last year, I believe we made 8 or 9 separate submissions. And this year, this is the first time we've made a submission all year. It's really frustrating. And quite frankly, it led to me not renewing the membership. The membership went from $99 to $149 in 1 year. And then they stopped doing specials, at least for that. I don't care if you're going to do ticket specials or you're going to do, TCG specials. That doesn't apply to everybody. I know that's, the TCG is the big part of their business right now. But you built your business on vintage and the registry. And right now, I feel like you're kind of crapping on those customers. And I'm not alone. So I did not renew. I may renew at some point. I may not. I don't know. I may find alternate ways to sub. But so this could be the last reveals you see. I'm not sure yet. It's just very frustrating that they aren't providing an outlet for the kind of customer that got them to where they are, quite frankly. So that's my frustration. That's kind of where I'll leave that. But until they can provide some decent specials and consistent specials, quite frankly, the $149 Collectors Club membership, in my mind, is like stealing my money. And that's why I didn't give it to them this year. And I felt like that last year, leading up to, I think our renewal date was July 31st or July 1st, I don't remember. Basically, they stole over half a year's worth of money from me because they didn't offer any kind of specials. And I know they send out a PSA magazine every year, that's every month, but that doesn't matter. I mean, that's window dressing. Frustrating. And, the whole thing, obviously, with them purchasing, collectors purchasing SGC. I know some SGC collectors that are frustrated. And so if you're not grading the new shiny stuff and you're not paying full price, PSA is kind of ignoring you right now. And they're saying you don't matter. And that's where my frustration is the biggest. All right, I'm going to shut up now, stop my whining, and let's get to some cards. Again, thank you, and I appreciate you joining me for this reveal. So, you can tell it's been a while since I've done this. All right, there's our paper. 28 cards. They're not going to be in the order that I have them on my paper, but that's okay. We can adjust. The first ones it looks like we've got are 1960s. We've got a nice group of 1960s. Most of these are my buddy James. The first one is a Don Notabart, the X-Mint 6. James is working on the whole set in a 6 or better. So he picks up some nice ones when he sees them. And this one fit the bill. I had this one as expect a 6, hope for a 7. So no surprise there. Next 1960 is a Herb Score. Now this is actually my buddy Richard's. And he picked this up at the same place, the same LCS that James got his, and then I got a couple from our last submission. We all went to an LCS together. This one got a near mint 8. This is a Herb Score. Just really, really nice card. They were happy with that grade. I had it as an expect a 7, hope for an 8, and we got the 8. So we'll put it over here. Now, I was hoping to get all the 60s together. All right, let's move on to Frank Torrey. This is back to James. This got an 8.5. This is a really nice card. Once again, I had as expect a 7, hope for an 8. And we got an 8.5, but it's really centered well. Sharp corners, just a beautiful card overall. There are not many higher than this. And not many of these have sold over the years. So I do expect that if he chose to sell this, he could probably get a pretty good penny for it. Next is Bobby Shantz, the oldest living player aside from Reverend Bill Greason, which we can talk about separately later. This EX Mint 6, get a nice card for Mr. Shantz. Bobby just turned 100 a couple of weeks ago. and or in September at some point. I don't remember the exact date, but just turned 100. Still signs autographs through the mail, and was the MVP in 1952. So definitely a great player, and one with a lot of history. So, this one is Joe Morgan. Got 6 on it as well. Again, these are the James cards. All the 60s here, except for that Herb score, are James. And this is a nice looking 6. Centering top to bottom is off a little bit, but still that fits right in with that. And I had it as a between a 5 and a 6 to expect and hope for a 7, but thought maybe the 7 was a little bit far-fetched. I believe this is the last 1960 we have. This is Ray Monzant, and this is an 8. Another beautiful 8. Just really nice, sharp card. These cards were just, the backs were beautiful. LCS had picked some of these up, and they looked, there was gloss on the back. They just looked really, really nice. And so we picked up some. James more than myself or Richard, but we all picked up a few. And I think so far, everything that we have sent in has graded at least a 6. So that's good. The other thing I'm going to note here, let me just look real quickly. Yeah, these are PSA's new slabs. These are the new slabs that they stopped using for a while after people were complaining that there was some feathering going on. But these are heavier than the previous slabs. They feel really nice in your hand. They're supposed to be more scratch resistant. They definitely have a heavier feel to them. And I really like them a lot. I'm hoping that they're back to using these full time because they are definitely an upgrade over the previous slabs. Okay, next, same LCS. I picked this one up for myself. I've got a 1962 Hall of Fame registry that I'm kind of working on. And this one is a PSA 5 Gil Hodges. Nice card. This one's got, I don't know if I can show it to you now, but it's got a little print line, a vertical print line going down it that I knew would hold the grade back some, but I wasn't sure. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically there's a line that basically kind of goes right down through the side of his face there, down to about here. And it's just, again, it's from the printing process. So I knew it wasn't going to grade too high, but otherwise, it's a pretty decent looking card, nicely centered. Happy to add that to my 62 Hall of Fame registry and Gil Hodges. Okay, next, I have no idea what order these cards are in, and I am not going to try to organize. We're just going to pull and go. All right, this is one of James. It's an OPG Willie McCovey record breaker. This one got a 5. I think he was a little disappointed in that, maybe wondering a little bit why he sent that one in. But OPGs are tough, and you don't see them every day, so it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and protect that. Next up, we have a Johnny Oates. This one belongs to me, goes to my 75 set. This one I thought had a shot at a 9. It's a really nice looking card. Not perfect. Wasn't going to get a 10, but I thought it had a shot at a 9, but I'm going to take an 8 and be happy with it. And that will go into my 1975s. Next up, this is another card of mine that I did. This is an OPG Dale Murphy. I really thought when I first saw this that we had a shot at a 10 or at least a 9, given the fact that they seem to be fairly lenient on rough OPG cuts, edge cuts. Looking a little further, I think that the centering top to bottom actually limits me to an 8. I went back and remeasured it, and it's right borderline 8 and 9. I don't remember the exact numbers, but that's probably what limited me to an 8, or at least a good part of it. Still, nice looking OPG 1980 Dale Murphy 80 was one of my favorite sets growing up. And I've got a couple of sets of those regular tops, but I figured I would toss that one in. I got it cheaply. Next, we got some more OPG. Another Willie McCovey. This one is his regular card. Got a 6 on this one. Nice looking card there. I'm going to move Murphy for a second. Put Willie next to that. I'll move Murph down to the end here. Give me All right, here's another one of my 75s. This is a Jim Ray from the Tigers pitcher. This one got a 9. Really sharp card. Centering on this one left to right was 57-43. So just kind of outside the newish guidelines for a 10. But nice sharp. I picked this one up a while ago, a couple of years ago, and it's just been sitting in my set. And I thought, you know what, it's time to give this one a shot. And so we'll add a 9 to the collection. Next, another one I picked up pretty cheaply. No specific reason. I don't necessarily collect 72s. I don't necessarily collect Bobby Grich, but I respect Grich as a player. It's a second-year card. I got a mint 9. It was just really, really sharp. And I don't know how the focus is on that. But just a really, really sharp, beautiful card. Very well centered in a 9. And we'll toss that into my collection. At some point, I may decide to move it to somebody who is collecting those. But at the same time, just beautiful card of a very, very good player who definitely deserves some Hall of Fame consideration. All right, my last 75 of this group, and the most important one for my set, is a Frank Tanana. Frank Tanana, if any of you collect 75s, then know, very difficult card to get in an 8 or above. It's just most of the cards you see are very off-center. They're cut weird. It goes down to the position on the sheet. But Frank Tanana is a tough one, and that one, you know, in an 8 sells for at least $80 to $100. And this one's a really nice one. It's really well centered. It's got a little bit of surface noise, if you will, just print stuff, but it's very minor and just looks very nice. I knew it probably would not get a 9, but I thought it was a very solid 8. So I'm very happy with that. That's a nice one to add to my collection, and one, again, that you don't see on a daily basis. So we'll stick Frank Tanana up there. All right. That puts us about halfway through, so I'm going to go ahead and take down the older guys. I will say this. I really do like these slabs that, and I don't know if you can see or not, if I can get that. Man, I don't know if I can get that in there or not. If there's a background that I can give it. Try something here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it appears that it says like RL1 with the R backwards. That's the newest slabs. So if you see that, they feel a little heavier. That's the newest slabs, and they feel really, really nice. I'm glad, again, hoping that they stick with those, and this is not just a temporary thing where they had extra stock. Those are just really nice and sharp. Okay, next. Let's move on here. This one is mine. It's a 79 Ozzie Smith. Picked it up cheap on eBay one day. Figured, what the heck, I don't have one. And I knew it wasn't going to grade really high, but I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and get it in a slab, and I can, at that point, then preserve it or decide to move it if I want to and pick up a different one down the road. Just kind of see where that one goes. Next up is Dave Parker. I had 2 of these. I got to be honest with you, I had this one listed as a 4 or a 5. Let me just real quickly. Yeah, expect a 4 or 5 and hope for a 5 or a 6. I honestly did not expect a 6. Corners are a little soft. And the more I look at it, I mean, it looks nice. So it looks nice in the slab. Centering's off a little bit left to right, but, you know, hey, that's, for that grade, that's par for the course. I'm happily take the 6 of this rookie, now Hall of Famer. Now I got a Pete Rose 1975. This is a buddy of mine's. I've got a 3.5 here. One from his childhood, my buddy Dave. I think our bottom corners, I don't know if you can see those or not, but the bottom corners are what got us on this one. So, but that was pretty much where we expected it to be. And Dave's next one, again, a card from when he was a youngin' growing up in the 80s. A Dwight Gooden rookie card. Got an 8 on it. Nice looking card. Survived well from the 80s. All right, let's see where we're at here. Next, Richard's other card. He only had a couple of cards in this one. He has more coming in the other half. We got a 1981 Ricky Henderson and a 9, a mint 9. Very, very nice card. It's one of those that I think could have gotten a 10 on the right day, and it also probably could have gotten an 8 on a different day. But no issues with a mint 9 grade. It belongs. It's sharp. Looks good. We'll stick that right there for now. We'll go back to OPG and Lou Brock. This is a Lou Brock record breaker. This one got a 7. So it did a little nicer than the McCoveys. It's a nice card. Let's see what else we have in here. This is a Tiffany. Topps traded Tiffany. Greg Maddux. We got an 8 on this. We were hoping for a 9 or heck, who knows on a beautiful day get a 10, but kind of hoping more for a 9 there. But those are tough. I've never done well on the Tiffany's that I have sent in to be graded, even the ones that were not mine, but especially the ones that were mine. So I'm going to pull these down here for the last few cards. I'm going to go ahead and put Frank here since that was kind of my crowning one of this submission. Pull these all back. All right, let's get the last ones here. We got a 1976 Kellogg's and near mint 8. They had a lot of Kellogg's cereal. Got a lot of these. Don't have any of them from my childhood, but have picked a few up. This one, again, I believe is James. A nice Thurman Munson there. Next, we're going to go back to 88. We're going to go to the Kenner starting lineups. This card came from those. This is a mint 9 Don Mattingly. This is James' card. Kind of one of those I wish I had for my Mattingly collection. But we got a nice 9 there for Mattingly. I didn't even know those cards existed. And Dale Murphy, who James collects very heavily, got an 8. And we've got 4 cards left, I do believe. We're going to jump over to football real quick with just one card. It's a 73 Joe Namath. And if you've watched my reveals before, you know that James likes his former Alabama quarterbacks. So we got a 4 on a 1973 Joe Namath here, which is, again, about what was expected. Next, this one is James, I'm pretty sure. This is a 75 mini Nolan Ryan in a 3. And that one graded about correctly. Just had various issues. From corners to edges to centering, all of the above. Kind of hoping to see a 4, even a lucky 5, but that's okay. Next up is a 73 World Series card. I believe he's got another 1 or 2 of these, so maybe he's going to take a run at all of them. A's make it 2 straight. Get that. Game number 2. This one got a 7. I think he got a 7 or 8 on the last one that we did. That was a while ago, so I can't remember for sure. But still, a nice looking 1973. Showing the A's and the Reds from the World Series. From the 72 World Series. We'll put this here. And then the last card that we have today is my card. It is a 1981 Tom Seaver. Going to be for my Tom Seaver run. And I was very happy when I flipped the grade and saw that it got a Gem Mint 10. I really didn't know what to expect with these. These 81 Fleers kind of have a weird surface. It almost made me feel like there was an issue with the surface. But it was centered up. The corners were sharp. And so I figured we got to give this a shot and see what happens. So we got a 10 on it. And that'll go right into my nice little Tom Seaver run there. So happy with the Gem Mint 10 there. So that's it on our first 28 cards. Again, we'll have another 29 cards, I believe, coming back at you. See if I can't square that back a little bit. There you go. Very soon. I'm also going to do a retro wax box where I am going to open some wax packs from the mid-'80s to the early '90s, courtesy of Phil over at I Love Baseball Cards. We're going to both open a box and kind of see who does better on those. So that should be fun. And I'm also going to begin to highlight 1975 Topps and my collection of cards there, and we'll go into not only the cards that I have, but the set itself with some pretty cool info that you may or may not know. Lastly, I am also going to very soon do a video on Don Mattingly. Some of you may know I grew up around Don Mattingly, watching him play when he played in high school. So we're going to do a little deep dive back into some early Don Mattingly stuff, and I think some stuff that you really might like. And we're got our fingers crossed, hoping that he can get the nod to the Hall of Fame here. But again, not sure what's going to happen there. Thank you for spending time with me. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos coming soon. And I hope to spend time with you again soon.